Hi everyone, my name is Hannah and welcome to my channel. Today we're in my kitchen because I'm going to be making homemade kimchi. This recipe is not super traditional, and obviously I did not grow up eating kimchi, but it is a great way to preserve cabbage, and it's also really good for you and incredibly delicious. So I'm going to zoom you in a minute. My recipe is based on Roy Choi's recipe. He's a restaurateur and food truck owner in Los Angeles. And he has a way that makes it super easy and quick to do. So I'll zoom you guys in to see what I'm working on. So the great thing about this recipe is it comes together, all of it comes together in a blender. The first thing that I'm gonna do is put together my ginger. So I bought some ginger from the store. I never bother peeling my ginger. I just cut it up and I cut all of the kind of knobby bits off, and then I'm gonna throw this all into a blender. We're not going to need all of this for this recipe. It only needs about a quarter cup, which I would think is like this piece. But I like to use the ginger, blend it all up, and then freeze it in cubes so that I can have them for future recipes. So I'm just going to blend all of this together so that I'll have some extra that I can use in the future. So, as I said, I only need about a quarter cup of this. So I'm going to scoop some out and put it into this ice cube tray. This is a silicone ice cube tray, and it makes it really easy to pop the little cubes out. So I'm just going to scoop out most of what's in here and leaving about a quarter cup. So that looks to be about a quarter cup to me. Don't need to be super precise with it. And I'm just going to take this ice cube tray and kind of press the rest of this ginger into these spots, and each of these cubes is about 2 tablespoons. So this ends up being a good amount for a stir fry or whatever. So now I've gotten 2 activities already done in one, and I'm just going to put these in the freezer so that they will freeze solid. Next, I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. So I have a cup of onion. I've added 1 cup of onion. I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of sugar. And next, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of salt. Since this is a fermentation recipe, I'm going to add canning and pickling salt. So 2 tablespoons of this. Next, I'm going to add the star of the show, which is gochugaru. This is Korean red chili pepper flake. I bought this at my local international food store, but I'm sure you could find it at online on Amazon or something like that. So we need 1 cup of these. And this chili flake, it's a mild flavor. It's got a very floral, kind of like a bright flavor. It's really delicious. So I'm going to add 1 cup of this. Then next ingredient is about 15 cloves, or basically a whole head of garlic. I love garlic. And then I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. Two tablespoons of soy sauce. And then the next thing that Roy Choi's recipe calls for is a quarter cup of fish sauce. I eat a plant-based diet, so I'm going to substitute fish sauce for liquid aminos. It tastes similar to soy sauce, but has like a little bit of a funkier flavor. If you really like that fish sauce taste, you could add in some seaweed into this, and I think it wouldn't affect the fermentation. But I'm fine with leaving that out, so I'm just going to add this quarter cup of liquid aminos. And then the last thing is about a half a cup of water. So I've got all my ingredients into my blender. And now just gonna put on the lid and blend until it's completely smooth. So the next thing we're gonna grab is our cabbage. This is about half of a very large napa cabbage. You can pretty much use any cabbage you like if you prefer, or if you have a different kind. I'm sure that would be fine. Napa cabbage is the more kind of traditional one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all of this paste and I'm just going to mix it into the cabbage. Now I'm going to do this step using disposable gloves because I have a cut on one of my hands and I'm worried it's going to be very painful if I get chili paste in it. If you've got clean hands, you can obviously do this just with your bare hands. But be careful you wash your hands very well after handling the chili paste before you touch your face. So I'm just going to mix all of this into the cabbage. Now I've chopped my cabbage into large pieces. Traditionally you'd keep it whole or just in like wedges. I found that to be a little bit difficult to deal with. I find it much more convenient to chop the cabbage and then mix it in rather than having like big bits of cabbage in your jar. But traditionally you would not chop it, you would just put it in wedges. I'm going to pack my jars. So I think I'm only going to need 2, but I might need more, so we'll see. I'm just going to go ahead and pack this in. I find it's easier to not use a funnel for this. I like a wide mouth quart jar, and you just pack as much of this in as you can, really pressing down. So now I've got my 2 jars filled. I'm just going to make sure to pack down the cabbage as much as I can, and I'm not going to try and overfill these, just because if you do, sometimes the cabbage can start to expand and then you might have an overflow. So I'm going to pack these down gently, and then I'm going to cover these. I'm going to rinse them off, and then I will come back to talk about the finished product. And here's our finished product. 2 jars of kimchi. This is a fermentation process, of course, so these jars are going to stay out on my counter for 2 days. I'm going to burp them occasionally so that the fermentation inside the jar doesn't cause the jar to explode. And then I'm going to put them in my refrigerator for 2 weeks. After that's done, they will be ready to enjoy. These last basically forever. I've never had any of these go bad. The other thing that's really great is it creates this liquid in the jar, and the liquid is really great to use to make stir fries or fried rice or anything like that, even topping on soups and things. It's a nice spicy, salty, really tasty mixture into any of your dishes. So I hope you all try this and enjoy preserving cabbage and enjoying this delicious snack as much as I have. My favorite way to eat it, I love to just mix it into stir fries or into to make kimchi fried rice. Another thing I really like to do if I need a super quick meal and I'm just really lazy is something I learned from my Korean roommate in college, is just white rice, soft tofu, and kimchi. And the 3 of those together make a great quick lunch. So thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye!